So in my day, I've seen a lot of companies come and go. I've seen a lot of companies make the most gravest, the most terrible, most oh my god errors that has made them crumble and has made fandoms look at them like, oh my god, what the hell are you doing right now? What's going on here? I mean, like, there's dropping the ball and then there's just, oh my god, the ball blew up and flew away. Like, there's the difference between the two when it comes to how you run a company and how you destroy a company and make it look like, wow, you done goofed. Because after reading the story, I was like, oh my god, this is one of those things that I definitely got to cover on the next episode of FORNEVERNEWS.
No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you people. When I read this story, the first time I heard about it, I was like, what is going on here? What are y'all doing right now? Because Crunchyroll just really made things go south. And honestly, I could definitely say for sure that when it comes to the reasoning behind this, a lot of it has to do with ever since the big change happened of Sony buying up Crunchyroll, Funimation, and everything above, everything changed. For crying out loud, if I give you a little bit of a history lesson, not to start drama, and I'll try my best to keep out of the drama situation because I don't like drama. But pretty much back in the days, there was a lot of us, including myself, YouTubers, content creators, pretty much influencers that were working kind of elbow to elbow, so to speak, or just in general working close to some of these companies, including Crunchyroll, Funimation, etc., because we was a part of an influencer program, so to speak. We were basically like, yo, y'all not really employees and all of that good stuff, and we don't really want to give you the bag. And one thing led to another, and by the time Sony bought up the company, they were like, yeah, it was nice to see you, but we're going in a different direction, and essentially all of the influencers were out of the program, and yeah, big waste of time. So I've seen the effects of what has happened since these companies have sold to the conglomerate of Sony, and it's just been a massive difference. And this article right here is just another testament and even demonstration, to be honest with you, of what the heck is going on here. Let's read so you guys can understand just how bad things really have gotten and how things can get worse, and why honestly people are gonna start putting on that ski mask. And you're like, yo, Fornev, what are you talking about ski mask? What? Yeah, dog. We'll talk about it. Let's read first. Crunchyroll to halt ad-supported streaming starting in spring 2022 season, aka a few days from now. Essentially, you're kind of screwed because Crunchyroll announced on Friday that it will no longer offer free ad-supported viewing starting with its spring 2022 season lineup. Crunchyroll will instead require that viewers have a subscription to access new and continuing simulcasts. The first 3 episodes of the following spring 2022 titles will be available for free ad-supported viewing for a limited time, including Spy Family, A Couple of Cuckoos, The Dawn of the Witch, Tomodachi Game, Skeleton Knight in Another World, Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, The Greatest Demon Lord is reborn as a typical nobody, trapped in a dating sim, The World of Otome Games is tough for mobs. The first 3 episodes of each title will be available for ad-supported viewing for a week after their premiere on Crunchyroll until May 31st. Subsequent episodes as well as other titles in the spring 2022 simulcast lineup will be available to view with a premium monthly or annual subscription. Crunchyroll confirmed that with continuing anime, ad-supported viewing will not be available with episodes starting with the spring season, but episodes prior to the spring season will still be available. Crunchyroll previously allowed free ad-supported streaming for simulcast titles 1 week after an episode premiered. Funimation and Crunchyroll announced on March 1st, Funimation and Wakanim anime library and simulcast content have moved to Crunchyroll. Sony's Funimation Global Group completed its acquisition of Crunchyroll from AT&T on August 9th last year. The purchase price was US $1.175 billion, and the proceeds were paid in cash at closing. So essentially, they're taking away from your experience on Crunchyroll in a major way, and essentially this is going to go really bad because for starters, they're absolutely taking away from people being able to just get on there. And the crazy thing about this whole thing, because let's backtrack a little bit to the early years of Crunchyroll based on what everybody and their mother has told me, because I wasn't on Crunchyroll at this particular time. I got onto Crunchyroll. They might have been legit already when I got onto them, but it was a wild scene back then. Because in case you don't know, Crunchyroll started off as, yes, people, get ready for it, you ready for it, you ready for it, you ready for it, Crunchyroll started as a pirate site. Essentially, think Kiss anime. Think of, like, you know, the ones that are essentially illegal. That's how Crunchyroll started, and now they've got to the point of being so up there, the brand itself, and swapping hand to hand to hand, that ultimately now they're like, yeah, we're gonna forget about the crimes that we've committed back then and focus on this now. Like, yeah, because basically they're taking away and saying, no, we're giving you, like, no, you're taking away. There's, like, I want to say, according to one of the top posts on Google, it says here, we are pleased to announce that we have passed 5 million paid users around the world and over 120 million registered users overall. This huge achievement is only possible because of the amazing community of anime fans backing us up, and this was said via Crunchyroll August 3rd, 2021. So essentially, out of 120 million registered users, only 5 million of them are going to have access to Crunchyroll. And I definitely have a voice in this whole thing because I've been rocking with Crunchyroll and using that service for a very long time now. In fact, I want to say I've been using the service since 2011. Kind of crazy. But if you're going this direction, then wow, when you're in a relationship and things are starting to go south and you're like, whoa, what happened? It was so good in the beginning. You used to give me roses every day. That's pretty much the relationship that it's looking like with Crunchyroll, especially if somebody that's been around from the pirate era of it till now. It's kind of like, imagine Luffy went from, hey dog, I am Luffy the pirate king, the man that's going to be the pirate king, to all of a sudden I'm Luffy dog, and yeah, I'm the admiral, bro. I'm fleet admiral up in here. This is my dream. You would be like, nani sore wa desu ka? Not to mention, on top of the fact of adding, not only is he saying that, but he's also saying, all you pirates, you're done for. You're out of the water. Get out. No more pirates in the ocean. You scrubs. You over there, Bartolomeo, stop kissing my ass. Get over here. That's pretty much what we're looking at in this scenario. And it's honestly absolutely disgusting in a major way, because I understand it from a business standpoint. This is very genius, and that's what you would ideally do if you want to scale. A lot of people are going to be like, I can afford the $4.99 a month to watch my favorite 20 anime. Why not? So some people are going to make the jump. But on the flip side of things, if this backfires, which you guys are going to definitely give me a lot of insight on how this is going to go based on you guys' commentary. So please, by all means, drop a comment, drop a like, definitely subscribe and hit that bell to get all notifications, because in case you don't know, 65% of people watching right now aren't even subscribed. They don't even know about the greatness that we're doing here right now. Yeah! Subscribe, hit that bell, all notifications, because if not, Crunchyroll is going to come to your house and cancel you, and you won't be able to access your life anymore without paying for it. I don't know, I thought that sounded kind of... Seriously though, bro! My voice just cracked. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Essentially 115 registered users, 115, I'm sorry, million users are kind of assed out. They're assed out like overweight people in bikinis. Now, this shouldn't be offensive to the overweight community, because hello, although I am working on it, and that's the first step, and we divulged so far away from the truth of FORNEVER news of what we're doing right now. But just being honest with you, I feel like Crunchyroll has really honestly went a direction that is going to piss a lot of fans off. I think a lot of people are going to revolt against this. Imagine, realistically, 120 million, it's not 120 million, right? Like, realistically, registered 120 million. After it's all said and done, you know, people that don't watch anime anymore, people that don't use that service anymore, all of that jazz. How many are active of the 120 million registered? That's something to be determined, I guess, but ultimately only 5 million are able to access it. And if you don't pay, that's where, again, I want you guys to come in, because I've been paying for it so long. A part of me feels like, should I take a stand? And that's, again, where the corporations be like, yo, we got you. We know y'all love this shit too much to walk away from it. So, boom! But again, we'll see, because this story is actually developing very, very crazy, because even seeing some fan reactions online kind of had me like, holy cow. Take, for example, this gentleman right here, Jet Zero. He said, yo, at Crunchyroll, this kind of shit isn't okay. There's no reason to screw over non-subscriber users like this, especially now that you're the biggest game in town. Stuff like this is what actually helps to encourage more piracy, because let's get into the actual details so you guys understand just the wording in the new terms of service and what it says. For the spring 2022 season and future seasonal releases, Crunchyroll will update our offering on simulcast titles by subscription tier. To view new and continuing simulcasts, a premium monthly or annual subscription will be required. With the exception below, we will no longer be offering simulcast episodes 1 week after release as an ad-supported free viewing option. For continuing series, ad-supported viewing on any new episodes will not be available in line with the spring season. However, previously published episodes are still available to all user types. To introduce our new seasonal simulcast, we will be offering additional episodes, blah blah blah. Basically, dog, you ain't getting in here without paying, period. Punto claro, como lo hispano dice, ¿verdad, mijo? Adiós. Yo no puedo creer ¿cómo están haciendo esto? ¡Ay! Si hablas español, dice anime y manga for life, por favor. Si yo sabes que te pone un poquito, ¿cómo se dice? En bochorno con eso, ¿verdad? Está bien, está bien. Nosotros estamos en otro año, y si tú te gusta algo de anime y manga, nadie te puede decir nada, mándalo pa'l carajo. If you understood that, please type hashtag FORNEVER spoke Spanish. Wow. Yeah, people, this is just absolutely crazy. Kind of has fans a little bit like, well, what goes here? But if you're a paid subscriber, you don't gotta worry about it. If you're unpaid, you're kind of going to have to either join up or you're screwed. And I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of times where stuff like that kind of makes me wonder, well, I wonder what the creators, you know, behind the scenes think about this, like in terms of the mangaka, you know what I mean? Like, what would the mangaka of a series that is an anime that is on that platform platform, and fans are complaining about that happening. How would the mangaka react? What would their comment be? Kind of like jumping into the weekly Shonen magazine author comments, courtesy of Jose_Ke. Shout outs to him. We got starting off with Ken Wakui, aka the author of Tokyo Revengers, and he said, which is absolutely hilarious, that the first comment is about Netflix. I really enjoyed Netflix's Talk Survivor. I can't wait for season 2 to drop. I've never heard of that. Is that good? What's going on there? Talk Survivor. Talk Survivor. That kind of sounds like the life of a YouTuber. I'm not even gonna lie. Talk Survivor. You're essentially surviving your whole livelihood and everything on your ability to talk and engage with your audience. I love you guys. Thank you. And that's genuine from the bottom of my heart. Nakaba Suzuki, author of Four Nights of the Apocalypse, The Seven Deadly Sins. If one's gonna put something in their bath, it's gotta be yuzu, right? As an experiment, I put some in my bath. I think the craziest thing I ever put in my bath was probably just regular shampoo and conditioner. I mean, aside from when I was a kid, and you know, when you're a kid, you do all sorts of weird shit, but I don't really think I've ever put anything crazy, and I don't even know what the hell yuzu is. The only yuzu I know is like yuzu and karin from Bleach, you know what I'm saying? By the way, Bleach coming back, yo, that's gonna be crazy, but yeah, I don't know what yuzu is, and the best things I put in my bath are usually like to make a bubble bath, lad, although I haven't done that in a long time because I'm a grown-ass man, but yeah. And I'm not saying that grown-ass man can't have bubble baths. If I could, if I wasn't married to my work and married to talking to you guys about this really awesome stuff that we love called anime and manga, I'm just saying. Kei Urano, the author of the new manga Gachi Akuta, said, Ando Hideyoshi got a haircut. It ended up being a bob cut like the members of Team Galaxy. The results was truly a close shave. I really gotta get invested in that series because it could be next up, especially considering Atsushi Okubo dipped and he's the up-and-comer. He's the one that's taking over in terms of like, hey, he's supposed to be next. Hopefully, you know, I could get into it and see if it's really dope because, you know, he could end up being a leader like Hiro Mashima from Eden Zero, who said RPG Maker Unite is out now. I'm totally looking forward to it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, once again, Hiro Mashima, inhuman. This man is not human. This man can't be real, okay? There's no way Hiro Mashima is a real person. Now, RPG Maker Unite is out. Well, I guess it goes in line. Like, what? He just released that Eden Zero free game, so is he going to work on the next one? And is RPG Maker Unite, is that like something that teaches you how to make RPGs, considering the fact that we know he's been in game development for a little bit now on his own personal independent thing? So kind of makes me wonder, like, okay, where are we going with this, lad? Definitely, especially considering we got the next comment from Blue Lock, Muneyuki Kaneshiro, and new legends are coming to take over the manga scene, especially the Sokka dude that said, if I can beat Elden Ring, then Dead by Light should be a snap. I gotta get more into gaming. Oh my god, when I hear this, y'all have no idea. Like, okay, I did the casting call in the last episode or so for Never News. I'm like, yo dog, I want a friend. Oh my god, it would be so cool to be able to talk to some people about like Elden Ring, Dead by Daylight, like actually pick it up and play it and talk to my friends about it and shit like that. Like, that'd be fire. In case you don't know, I'm a workaholic and a family guy, so it's hard to be able to get those conversations off nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you get older, it's a little bit different. When I was 19 and I started this YouTube shit, bro, it was anime and manga, not only for life, but every second of life, okay? And now it's like single dad, trying to, you know, build my career and my work, and, you know, you just don't have the time. But boy, would that be freaking awesome, because George Morikawa from Hajime no Ippo might agree. He might give it a swinging punch of, yo, play some video games, dog. Because George Morikawa said, it feels good to get a payout from an open Richi. I have no idea what an open Richi is. Shout out to George Morikawa. Never know what he's talking about, but hey, it's good to know that he's up and working, and one day he's gonna say some big massive updates that people are gonna be like, oh my god. If I'm not mistaken, and I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but there's a certain character that hasn't done something in a very long time in Hajime no Ippo, and I think it's talks that person might actually do that thing again in Hajime no Ippo, and he could announce it right here, and we'll break it here on Forever News for you guys. And I'm not gonna lie, one of the series that I really still am like, I suck at catching up with is Negi Haraba's Ranger Reject. The occupation section on my Wikipedia article now lists manga artist and YouTuber, and oh my god, you don't understand that. That's one of the goals right there. That's short-term goals, because I think I can actually make that happen. Like, what do y'all think? How long is it gonna take more for me to be able to do something that's going to give me enough notoriety for them to say, oh dog, we need to make a ForneverWorld Wikipedia page? Like, we need to get there, fam. I want my Wikipedia page. Don't y'all think Fornever, like, yo, I've been around a minute. Can I get my Wikipedia page so I can say YouTuber, author, musician, all of the stuff that I've done, and all the stuff that y'all don't even know I'm working on and will do. And yeah, because I'm gonna be honest with you, it is nice to get recognition. Recognition itself, to be honest with you, oftentimes can even be dangerous. Some people, they crave it so much that they do some crazy shit, but recognition, nevertheless, is really freaking awesome. One of the things that, like, I remember I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw that it said here from Axe, this is a contract. My smell good doesn't come free, and it said Axe and a bottle of Axe spray on there, and I'm like, yo, dog, first of all, I should be getting sponsored for this. Haha, you tricked me. You knew anime people were gonna talk about it, so you did that. Well played. Where's the check, fam? I'm talking about you, dog. Or at least reach out and say what's up. Send me some spray, son, dog. I love some Axe. Because because Axe body spray caught my interest with this ad that they did. And you're probably looking at it like, yo, Fornev, how does this have anything to do with anime, dog? No, Fornever's not going off the rails, dog. Come on, man. Look closely. Look closely. Think about... You may not remember, but there was one series out there that had a ball kicking tournament. Yay? Nay? Remember? No? Yeah? That is clearly inspired by the cover of Volume 1 of Chainsaw Man. If you look closely, compare side by side, that's the background, and it has in the Chainsaw Man cover, Denji in the cover with his, Chainsaw Man head. This one is the Axe body spray. So somebody down there at Axe must be a fan of Chainsaw Man and thought, how can I do this? Because honestly, this almost feels like YouTube marketing tactics, but used from a giant corporation to sell the spray, if you think about it, because essentially you're riding off of and piggybacking off of the idea of Chainsaw Man and anime fandom and bringing it to Axe. Hence why whoever's job in marketing is really awesome, and hit me up. I love marketing. But nah, the point being is that, yo, this is really, really cool because you caught my interest, and I'm talking about the marketing behind it. Like, it's just simple, a splash of green, orangish, red background or whatever. So it's nothing like, oh my god, my mind is blown, but it's still kind of crazy and kooky to look at. Like, yo, dog, that's Axe body spray, but Chainsaw Man background. Like, okay, like, yeah. Wait, hold up. Let me see if it'll turn me into Denji and I could get bad bitches and all of that good stuff. Bad bitches, where are you? Come on, I'm right here. Like, hey! No love? No love. No love. No love. Y'all better not content ID me for that shit. Come on now. Like, yo, dog, I don't even sound like the song. And that's one of the things I love about Chainsaw Man too, is that it's so edgy and dark enough that, even adults can really kind of dig in and get into it. Like, yeah, it kind of gets immature and whatnot, but even adults have that, childlike side to them. Nobody completely leaves. Honestly, becoming a parent is just literally changing your perspective and stuff like that. Like, you're still gonna have the things that you love and how you enjoy to be as a child still in there. It might be dormant depending on what like brings you or not, but it's still gonna be in there. Kind of like, a certain series about a certain Attack on Titan Eren Yeager. Because in case you didn't know, they did not air an episode of Attack on Titan this past Sunday, and it left a lot of people like bugging out what's going on. And then also on top of that, we get confirmation on the episode count and stuff like that, and it's just going wild. Because for starters, it just said here again, no Attack on Titan episode today. Please wait next week for the finale, which that was again posted on the day of the Attack on Titan episode, and it just said the final episode is scheduled for April 3rd. So April 3rd, mark your calendars, Attack on Titan is coming to an end. I get it, people, alright? I understand, dog. I know. Fornev, Attack on Titan's manga ending, dog. I know. Like I said before, several weeks ago, we cross that bridge when we get to it. We will get to it. We will understand the plight that we have to face. I got like, cause who knows? Maybe it could be changed up. But also, like I just said, Attack on Titan Final Season Part 2 is listed with 12 episodes between 2 Blu-ray and DVD volumes, which kind of knew that already, but also it gives us a little bit more clarity in terms of more than likely we're getting a movie. I will honestly be deathly shocked if we don't get a movie, or the only way we don't get a movie, here's this, right? Listen to me very clearly. The only way we don't get a movie is they go anime only direction, absolutely, completely to the 10th power within these next couple episodes, and it changes everything entirely, and they go in a different canonical direction than what the manga does at the end. That's the only way we don't get a movie or some extended episode finale, an hour-long episode or something like that, but 99% sure we're getting a film for Attack on Titan, which is kind of bananas because several years ago, one of the topics of conversation for Attack on Titan fans, i.e. me, was the fact that, yo, dog, Attack on Titan would be mad fire if it ended with a finale of like a film. Like, one of the things I always thought was with manga, that's even more cooler. Like, I really loved, and I think they did such a phenomenal job of Naruto, of them dropping those films around the time the manga ended, the last Naruto the movie, that essentially, if you finish the manga, you are dying so bad for more Naruto because you know it's over, you're jumping to watch the last film. And then on top of that, you got the Boruto film teased at the end, you're jumping to watch the Boruto film right after, because I think that using mediums and crossing and whatnot is fantastic. I want to say somebody told me, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told that Full Metal Alchemist, the manga, dropped its final chapter and its final episode roughly around the same time, same week or something like that. And if that's the case, that is amazing. I wish Attack on Titan would have did that. It would have kind of like, hey, we could have all unanimously had one feeling, whether it be disappointment, satisfactory, whatever it may be. If you're satisfied, you're satisfied. You're disappointed, you're disappointed. But ultimately, like, we could have had it all together at once instead of of the war between the manga fans and the anime fans, and manga fans fighting manga fans, anime, like, it's just so wild. Like, I can't even really give any type of criticism about the ending of Attack on Titan without absolutely having 50 Eren Yeager, Mikasa, AVIs attacking me with Rumble Gang in their bio. Hashtag Rumble Gang, hashtag Rumble these nuts. No, seriously, it's like really, really bad. So you kind of just almost feel like I should just avoid it, right? Like, why do I want problems? Why do I want drama? Why do I want to deal with motherfuckers attacking me because, hey, I don't like these pages in the comic book? Like, come on, dog, what are we doing here, bro? Bottom line is this: Attack on Titan's manga ended, the anime ends in a week's time. Everything has to come to an end, similar to how, like, Ranking of Kings just came to an end with its first season. Now, granted, the manga is continuing on, but for people that understand just how incredible and amazing Studio Wit is, which they're ironically or coincidentally, which word falls more appropriately for what I'm saying right now, but they're from the same studio that did the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan, Ranking of Kings. And Ranking of Kings, in case you don't know, because I never made the video because FORNEV be slacking sometimes, Ranking of Kings is really, really good. Like, I really, really love and rock with Ranking of Kings. It's awesome. Ranking of King fans are already desperate for season 2. Ranking of Kings may not have been on your must-watch list this year, but all that changed when the show went live in October 2022. Wit Studio debuted its newest project with solid success, but things evolved as Ranking of Kings went on. The show went from being a passing interest to a full-on hit, and fans are now begging for season 2 in light of its first finale. Given how successful Ranking of Kings had been, it is hard to imagine the show ended with one season. It has been a consistent member of Crunchyroll's most popular series since it dropped, and audiences in China have flocked to the show to boot. Oh, well, thank God the audiences in China were able to see it, considering they freaking banned everything. Gosh. And as the manga is still being published by Sasuke Toke, yo, shout out to Sasuke and he's token. That's what's up, dog. Yo, my dude, yeah, blazed up. That's how he's making the manga so good. That's why Ranking of Kings is awesome. He's token. Sasuke is token, dog. Like, yo, Sasuke. With 12 volumes to date, there is plenty more content for Wit Studio to adapt. As you can see in the slides below, fans are already begging for season 2, and their pleas won't stop anytime soon, because yeah, fans are really, they're bugging out. They want it. Wit Studio will hopefully give word either way on the anime's future before long, so here's to hoping season 2 is in the works already. And yeah, people, I better get a season 2. I don't think it's going to happen immediately. In fact, I'm kind of wondering if we would get a season 2, simply because Studio Wit, I am so worried about Studio Wit. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like at any given moment, Production IG could pull the plug on them. I almost wish that Production IG would put all of their resources and manpower and combine it all into Studio Wit and say, screw all of that, having like multiple studios, it's not working out, one of them is failing, 5 million in the whole type of shit. Like, how about put all your resources into Wit and go from there? Because I think Wit, if it was as powerful as Ufotable and as powerful as Mappa has been, I think Wit could easily be in those same conversations and easily have all the big companies throwing money at them. Because look at Ranking of Kings, that shit is so freaking good. It's like the art style is very simplistic, right? Based on the manga, the original manga. I've seen some of the art from the original manga, very, very simplistic, but they made sure to take that opportunity of, oh, we don't got to do a million, like, we don't got to draw a Super Saiyan 3 hair, that we could just take this that looks almost like American cartoons, a simple little drawing of this little squishy kid and this little squishy goo shadow thingy majig, and let's give it the most fluid animation possible, because that's a lot more easier and doable than, again, taking an anime character that has 6 million, extra details all over them and trying to do something like that. So Studio Wit did the best that they could, and it succeeded immensely because it's a really awesome one. Crunchyroll is loving it. I'm sure it's successful, and hopefully this helps Studio Wit to get out of the hole, because again, I want to say they're like $5 million it was reported in the hole, and they lost Attack on Titan, and I believe that it's even been, I don't know if it's necessarily 100% confirmed, but it's been put out there that Studio Wit has potentially lost Vinland Saga, which, what? Like, dog, how do you lose Vinland Saga? How does that not even succeed? I mean, I'll be honest with you, one of the biggest things about Vinland Saga, and it's a product and a victim of just the era that we in right now, in terms of if anime goes to certain streaming platforms, because those streaming platforms aren't necessarily 100% known for anime, it might not perform in terms of what people would expect, or it might not be visible to the people that are looking at it in the way of like, oh shit, it's not popping like this one is doing that is being released on this platform. Like for starters, that even though now it's being changed because, you know, again, RIP anime, it's all over, put on your ski mask. Ultimately, some platforms just don't have the anime audience and push to look visibly that like, yo, it's really knocking. And that could very well be what happened at the very least in North America with Vinland Saga. We just got Vinland Saga finally on DVD and Blu-ray, I believe, with, was it Sentai Filmworks that's putting it out, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that could definitely be a situational thing. But ultimately, I'm just really going to be hopeful that we're going to get a season 2 to begin with. And I'm also going to be hopeful that it does continue with Studio Wit, because at that point, that's going to kind of give it a bad name, right? Like if we continue this path of Studio Wit starting an anime and handing it off, you know what I'm saying? Vinland Saga started it, handing it off seemingly to Mappa. Attack on Titan started it 3 seasons in. Mappa, you can take it. Unless they, you know, start really knocking them out the park with finishing shit, they're gonna start getting a bad rep. Fans are gonna be looking at it like, yo dog, why am I gonna invest in watching a Studio Wit product when I know that they're gonna just hand it off and I might feel a certain way? Like, don't get me wrong, I think what happened ultimately with Attack on Titan, I can't speak on Vinland Saga, we don't know how that looks yet for season 2, but with Attack on Titan, ultimately, yeah, it still looks freaking awesome, and thank goodness it was Studio Mappa. There's been some bad examples of just 7 Deadly Sins. Oh my god, they fucking ruined it, so fucking trash. I didn't say that one. Why you saying that for? FORNEVER ain't say that, no. Because I mean, the 7 Deadly Sins technically is in the news again because of what's going on with them, with this update of the travesty, the disgusting. Oh my god, I'm not even gonna lie. I can't even understand that what they've really done. Like, I'm gonna keep it all the way a buck. I'm going to be standing front line and center, and if you want to stand with me, please do, in the line of defense against like, yo dog, CGI is not going to pass, okay? I'm putting my arms up. I'm going to gatekeep against 3D CGI animation becoming the norm. I mean, it technically already is because we see it sprinkled in every anime, but I mean full blown, like what they're doing with the new Four Knights of the Apocalypse 7 Deadly Sins crossover thingy majig movies that Netflix is doing. It's like, the 7 Deadly Sins Grudge of Edinburgh anime film announces Tristan's voice actors. Who cares? No disrespect to the people that are obviously putting their times and efforts into this. I honestly feel bad saying that. I take it back. It's not that nobody cares. It's just my level of disappointment for what this looks like is very high. So forgive me. Being rude ain't cool. But Netflix announced during their stage today at Anime Japan 2022 the voice actors for the upcoming 2-part The 7 Deadly Sins. So it's technically, their branding is still as 7 Deadly Sins Grudge of Edinburgh CG anime film, which follows the son of the series, and isn't it Edinburgh, lead Meliodas and Elizabeth, as well as confirming that Yuki Kaji returns as a former protagonist. The character design setting art was also released, and we see here that that's supposed to be, I guess, older Meliodas. Also, that's Tristan real little, and then Tristan in this movie thingy majig, and ooh, I just see the simplicity of the CG. Alongside Yuki Kaji on the left side as an older Meliodas, Mikako Komatsu, Setsuna, and Yashahime Princess Half Demon will be voicing Tristan. By the way, just a side note, I heard Yashahime really sucks. Like somebody, a real cool girl, shout outs to her, I think, what's her name? Hime something. Either way, she told me that, yo dog, like it's trash. I was like, oh word, that's what I heard with season 2. Like people are just only in it at this point for the Inu gang. But yeah, we'll be voicing Tristan as a child with Ayumu Murase, who did Shoyo Hinata and Haikyuu. Okay, that's dope, voicing him as a teenager. Netflix also reconfirmed that part 2 of the 7 Deadly Sins Grudge of Edinburgh is coming, though part 1 has yet to release or even have a release date because they're creating them in conjunction. They're basically like, hey, we got money for one film, but instead of making one cool looking film, let's make 2 terrible looking films. That's the way, right? Get the freaking 3D CGI guy over here right now. You better draw the most terrible, most horrible. I swear to God, it better make my eyes bleed. That better be what the hell you do with this freaking art, okay? I will have nothing better. Like, that's genuinely how I feel they talk. I mean, how else could you explain this abomination of what they're doing? I'm almost curious, like, first of all, is the 7 Deadly Sins a spin-off? The Four Knights of the Apocalypse, has that? No, I don't think it's been released yet, right? I know it's been, I want to say licensed for over here, but I don't think it's been released yet physically. I know digitally it's official or whatever, but physically it hasn't been released yet, so we won't really know exactly what it's selling. I want to say probably it has to be that the original The 7 Deadly Sins, at the very least at its height, was selling pretty well over here in the West for the time being, because because again, sales are way higher now than they've ever been because we're kind of like in a big boom, and it kind of makes me wonder what they would sell, because honestly right now we actually have, thanks to popular demand from you guys, back the manga sales for the US, the top manga sales of the US. Again, it's normally a smaller list. This one we only have 4, but I really enjoy doing this. A lot of people were requesting it, like, yo, Fornev, we want to know what's selling over here in the West so we can make some sort of comparisons or something to what is happening in Japan, and like, yo, where are we at in terms of it? And realistically speaking, we sell anywhere from about 4 to 10% of the manga they sell, and that might be even me being very generous for the more popular ones at the very least. We usually sell like 4 to 10%, because it says here, top manga sold in the US from March 6th through March 12th. So this was a couple of weeks ago, but this is the soonest we get them. And for starters, at number 4, we got Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Stories of Water and Flame, and this week, which this came out January 4th, and it sold another 6,700 this week, bringing its total to 97,000, almost 100,000 books. Yo, dog. A major win. My Hero, that came out March 1st, volume 30 with Dabi on the cover, which they have that everywhere. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want to get conspiracy theory bag on you guys, but there is a major push and there's major popularity at the same time because it was the top selling manga of 2020 for My Hero Academia. Like, I went to Hot Topic, I want to say the other day, and I was like, oh my god, why do they have Dabi volumes all over the place? Like, I go to Hot Topic for clothing, like, you know what I'm saying, like epic looking clothing, like mine right now, that if you check the link in the description below, you could buy 20 for the hat, 40 for the hoodie. You can be in style, and you don't even gotta go to Hot Topic. Because when I was in Hot Topic, I just couldn't believe my eyes. Like, they got the newest My Hero Academia volume. They're selling manga at a clothing store. But in Japan, it sold this week 9,400, bringing its total in 3 weeks to 38,298. No, that I'm lying, because this was only up till March 12th. So this was less than 2 weeks of sales, 40,000. That is fantastic. That's like 20,000 a week. Then we got Toilet Bound Hanako-kun Volume 0. Oh, they pulled a Jujutsu Kaisen 0 on us. Hey! With 9,812 copies. That just goes to show you, because how many people in our community, let's keep it real, how many people, yeah, you probably listening right now, I've never even heard about Toilet Bound. Fornev, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, you never heard about Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and it's selling almost 10,000 copies in a week. Like, that's crazy. That just also goes to show that there's different pockets of anime and manga fandom. I'd imagine that this is a whole genre that people love, with Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and I don't really even know too much about it. I know that, like, I think that he's like a spirit in the toilet, thinking like Moaning Myrtle or some shit. It's kind of like that, if I'm not mistaken, but there's like a lot of sad shit. Like, I just remember my niece telling me a whole bunch of stuff and just, hey, Timmy, do you know when we're gonna get the next season of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun? And I'm like, I don't know. And by the way, only she calls me Timmy, okay? I'm Fornev to ya. I'm just saying, I prefer to be called Fornev. I like it. Call me Fornev. Or call me Berserk, because number 1, the top selling manga of the week of March 6th through the 12th, which is not even 2 weeks, I'm lying, this is 1 week of sales for the 10,000. Berserk did 10,000 sales in a week again, and it's just astronomical. March 8th to the 12th, if I'm not mistaken, 10,293, and that's for basically the deluxe re-releases, and I expect it to be just like that moving forward, because with the passing of the late great Kentaro Miura, one of the things is that it really helped to push the Berserk sales. Like, I remember I used to always go to this one store, and they would have every volume of Berserk every time. The moment Kentaro Miura passed, people went crazy buying Berserk, and hey, I'm glad at the very least they're reading it, and they're reading what I consider, if not easily one of the biggest peak fictions out there. Berserk, man, it's like it's otherworldly, dog. You can't even see it right now, but I got a tattoo on my chest, and probably a lot of you know that, and you're like, yo, Fornev, you're repeating yourself, dog. I don't care. I gotta remind you of the greatness of Berserk, baby, because you see, there's greatness. Like, again, damn near every freaking page of Berserk just looks like it's, whoa, you spent like a lifetime drawing that page, and no, he drew it in a timely manner. It's been on, a 30-year run, but timely manner. Okay, why not, Fornev? It's timely. We'll go with that. But either way, it still looked freaking fantastic. However, something that I just wanted to throw into the news cycle to wrap this bad boy up, Tokyo Revengers Volume 27's cover is, I feel horrible. I feel like I understand what, Ken Wakui was going with the patterns on the dress. That looks really, really cool, but the coloring, it just feels a little off to me at the top. It feels like it was trying to go elegant, but it almost came across as like even fan art to me from her facial features and everything at the top. Like, the bottom, he was very focused on getting the most sickest looking designs out there. Like, bar none, that looks amazing. It's the top part that I'm like, it looks mid. Oh my god, did you guys hear what I just said? Play the clip back, editor. It looks mid. mid. I just said mid. I don't use mid, and I just use mid, and I called anything Tokyo Revengers mid. No, that's not right, FORNEV. Wham! Oh, wow! Father, forgive me, for I have sinned and used thy words, thy not allow thy. No, seriously though, people are like, I'm not a fan of this cover, considering Tokyo Revengers, almost every cover is easily one of like the coolest and best looking covers out there of manga. Like, he really just knows how to draw clothing designs, all of that good stuff. And this, I'm like, the designs at the bottom look cool, but I don't know. I mean, shout outs to the character anyway, and hopefully Tokyo Revengers is making a turnaround, because people are just saying the most reckless things, dog. I felt like, whoa, Hiromashima's drawing Tokyo Revengers now, because that's the vibe they were giving off, the way they were saying it was just absolutely poor, piss bad. And thankfully, there's some series out there that don't get that type of hate. I mean, don't get me wrong, all series get some level of criticism, people saying it's overhyped, it's underrated. There's always something that people gotta say, but Jujutsu Kaisen, they never do that. You know what I'm saying? Jujutsu Kaisen, a lot of people really praise it, and I'm very, very grateful. In fact, it's kind of crazy that if you think about it, it's really been for top dogs that's been competing from like different, publishing companies and whatnot. But right now, in terms of the top, it's Jujutsu Kaisen, the #1 selling manga of 2021 that just put out a film that has already surpassed $100 million revenue and sales and whatnot. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got that dog versus then Tokyo Revengers, that if it wasn't for that dog, and if it wasn't for also Demon Slayer, yo, we gotta keep it real, we already know the anomaly of Demon Slayer. It's crazy. Like, Tokyo Revengers would have been the biggest. It would have been #1. It would have been like, holy cow, for the first time ever, Weekly Shonen Magazine finally came with the dub. Wow. Instead, Weekly Shonen Jump was like, Shueisha was like, nah, we're gonna, you know what I'm saying, we got Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen. Try again next time, dog. And Jujutsu Kaisen seems as though they're still pushing it forward. Obviously, they know that there's probably a lot of interest, returning interest at that, for the Jujutsu Kaisen series from, people coming from the film and all of that jazz, because over there in Japan, in case you don't know, it's a very, very big deal to re-air stuff. Like, a rebroadcast to them is important, and they'll even do new things. Like, for example, here, this short image, it just says, Jujutsu Kaisen TV anime gets new visual for season 1's rebroadcast, and it looks so freaking sick. Yuji, Sukuna, I even just took a screenshot right now. I was like, yo, dog, that could be my wallpaper, and it just looks sick. And again, it's like, okay, boom, because we already know season 2 is being worked on 2023. We just had the film. They're trying to keep things hot, and at the end of the day, also, they're probably recognizing, keeping it a buck with Gege Akutami. If I was business partners with Jump and Shueisha, right, and I'm Studio Mappa, and I got this Jujutsu Kaisen anime that is doing well, and I want to make sure it continues, I would be worried about the mangaka's ability to keep and sustain the brand, considering Gege Akutami is constantly, falling behind or getting ill and whatnot, which absolutely, like, I'm on Gege Akutami's side on that always. Forget about all of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always on that side for the creators and the creatives and whatnot. Like, they're the ones that deserve the dub. But nevertheless, it's still going to make it like Mappa's going to be like, damn, yo, there's a lot of breaks, you know what I'm saying? This can make, at any given moment, it could slow down. Let's keep the hype going. How about we rebroadcast this? Not only will it keep the hype going, but also people that just watch Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and maybe they can't afford the ridiculously expensive Blu-rays and DVDs over there in Japan, they can catch Jujutsu Kaisen now and be like, oh, so I saw 0, this is the series, and then boom, season 2 is coming in a few months after that. And that's probably why they're doing this big rebroadcast, because again, think in the West, we don't care about rebroadcasts. I can do it anytime. Over there in Japan, holy shit, they're re-airing it. Just imagine like your childhood. Sometimes a rerun would be really, really awesome. In fact, I grew up on Nick at Night reruns, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, George Zolman. Like, I used to, you know what I'm saying? Like, reruns was the shit. And that's why they use it as a very big thing over there, even though once the internet really takes over, reruns will be a thing of the past, other than, hey, let me go back and watch that video. But yeah, this image, absolutely insane. Yuji Sukuna looks freaking incredible, and wraps up the stories we have for today's episode. Curious what you guys think. Most important story, favorite story. Do you like the style of FORNEVERNEWS for this episode? I can keep it, I can improve on it, I can make it grandioso. And yeah, tell me what you think. Any stories that I missed out on, I want to hear from you. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in, and you guys just watched another episode of FORNEVERNEWS. Have an awesome day. Subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications, dog. Do it, do it, do it. Let's grow.
So just go to